We've all heard that song, The Rich Men from Richmond, and it's had a huge impact. And there's millions of people who are liking that song and downloading that song. Why? Why do you think? It's because this man is talking from his heart about an issue that he is absolutely passionate about. And so when someone talks from their heart and they give out that kind of energy, you can't not be connected to that energy because that energy is truth. My name is Eleni, and this channel is all about speaking the truth. It's all about showcasing who we really are at our core and why we're really here. And I've been going through this awakening process for a few years now and closely observing myself in this awakening process, observing the identity, observing the true consciousness, and getting closer and closer to my core and to my true essence. So if these topics interest you, please subscribe to my channel so that we can have a conversation together, so you can comment, and so that the message gets out there and impacts people in terms of how they're living their lives. And so let's go back to the message of the song, which is all about enslavement. I had it's interesting. The first time I listened to that song, which was only about 4 days ago, I was meditating, and that's the topic that came to me was enslavement and how we enslave ourselves, and we think it's others that enslave us, but it's really ourselves that keep ourselves enslaved. It's like this metaphor that I used to use in when I used to do hypnotherapy with my clients, where they've done this study with these dogs that were chained up. And then even when they removed the chains, the dogs still didn't leave the space that the chains kept them confined to, because they didn't realize the chains were removed. And that's what it's like with us humans, is that we enslave ourselves. We are not victims of, evil. Yes, we've been deeply programmed. Yes, we have been deeply conditioned. Yes, we have been manipulated to believe that we have no power. But the truth is the complete opposite. The truth is that we have so much friggin' power, so much power that we are completely unaware of, that we haven't even skimmed the surface of how much power we are. Why do we do the things that we do? Why do we keep ourselves enslaved? Why do we work, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and only look forward to 2 days of the week? Why? And it's interesting that even when we leave the obvious behind and we start in a space where we believe it to be freedom, we can still be enslaved. So this is what happened with me. So my first form of enslavement was in the corporate world. I worked in the corporate world for 22 years, and climbing the corporate ladder, doing whatever I needed to do to be a good manager, good team leader, good everybody, whatever I was doing to get there, to get to the destination. And, I finally realized that I can't do this anymore. I just cannot do this anymore. I can't drive to the city every single day, fighting traffic, be in the city for all these hours, only to look forward to the weekend and then Sunday night to start to have heart palpitations because I've got to work the next day. I cannot live this life anymore. And I dared to believe that I could open my own business. And that's when I became a hypnotherapist. And yes, that was magical. That was incredible. And I love my hypnotherapy business, which is still open today and has beautiful clients walking through the door every single day. And I've got beautiful hypnotherapists there that do magical work. And wow, what an amazing, beautiful journey that was. However, I worked my guts out. I worked harder in that hypnotherapy business than I ever did in corporate life, because at least with corporate life, I had the weekend free. Whereas, well, most of the time anyway, whereas with my own business, it was all about, oh my God, I've got to keep getting the money coming in. I've got to keep serving. I've got to achieve these outcomes for my clients. I've got to do so much as a business owner. And I was exhausted to the point where I had chronic adrenal fatigue to the point where I couldn't talk anymore, to the point where I would get sick very often because I never took holidays, I never took breaks. And so that was another form of enslavement, because then even though I was my own boss, I felt like I needed to do all these actions in order to move forward, in order to catch up to those ahead of me. When again, that is another false belief that we have. We don't need to do all this hard work in order to have the life that we desire. And so the next stage was for me to leave all of that behind and to come to another state, live by the beach and live my truest life and be free. But little did I know, and this realization has only really occurred to me in the last couple of days, that again, another form of enslavement started as I just found myself being busy all the time, responding to emails, doing things, a whole lot of admin stuff that just took up my whole day. So I would do that instead of walk across the road and walk down the beach. It's not even a road, it's just the beach in front of me. And not really living life again. So I had to train myself when I first came to Adelaide to start taking weekends off without feeling guilty. That was the first step. Take your weekend off, don't feel guilty that you don't do work on the weekend. And it took a while to settle into that space of don't feel guilty when you don't do work, because we are so deeply programmed to believe that we have to work hard in order to achieve. And it's so in our conditioning to think that that's the only way. So even when I take off all the shackles of, take off the corporate shackles, take off the working my ass off in the business shackles, shut down this part of my business because I don't want to be working all these hours and causing all this stress, then some more shackles appear. Okay, they're not as big as the previous ones, but they still appear in terms of the work that I'm doing and managing the workload and so on. And what I find is that the universe mirrors you. So when you are busy and really, really busy and keeping yourself in that busy state, more things just come your way. Did you notice that? More things come your way to keep you even busier, when really you're not enjoying the journey, you're not enjoying life. And so my mission is to enjoy this journey, is to have fun. So what I do now, the moment that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit stressed or a little bit anything, that's it. Instead of getting up to just go and eat something, which is the habit that I had for many, 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 many years, which is, oh, okay, I'm feeling a bit stressed. Let's go and get some food. And then I can do the next task. And let's go get some more food so I can do the next task. Now what I do, and believe me, this is just something new that I've been doing, is just get up, go outside, just walk by the beach, put my feet in the water and lie on the grass like a starfish and just breathe and be grateful for everything that I have got, for being grateful for being alive, being grateful for the sun shining on my face, be grateful that of all the things that are just so miraculous on this beautiful earth. And then I come back and everything's different. I have a whole new perspective. And it's about living without feeling like we have to work hard to do it. There are so many books out there about how you need to work hard to achieve what you have to achieve. You don't have to. Everything you can possibly want, you have got right now. Everything you could possibly need, you've got right now. You have got all the power inside you to do whatever you want to do as soon as we let go of those shackles, just like those dogs didn't know that they had shackles taken away from them. We need to understand that we do not have shackles on us placed by anyone else unless we allow them to do that. Unless we allow them to do that. And that is where it's at. That is where it's at completely. We need to understand that we have the power inside of us to do whatever we want, whenever we want, and we can release that guilt. We don't have to feel guilty for not doing work. We don't have to feel guilty for enjoying life. We don't have to feel guilty for enjoying the journey. So I'd love to hear your comments below and any questions you would have. I'd love to give my perspective. Sending you so much love. Don't forget to subscribe.